could have been anywhere in the YouTube world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Welcome back to House Day Views, and this is the Raw review for October 18th, 2021. This is the go home episode of Raw. This is the Raw before the Crown Jewel event that's supposed to go down on Thursday. So let's breeze through these results. Usually the go home shows just to build up to the upcoming pay-per-view. So let's see what went down in this installment of Raw. The night starts off with the Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. She comes out and cuts a promo. It's supposed to be her last night on Raw since she got drafted over to SmackDown a couple weeks ago, and since the draft will be in effect this week, this Friday will be her return to SmackDown. She goes off saying, how come no one is throwing me a going away party? You guys should, have some more respect for me. She goes on to say that she felt like it's not fair that Bianca Belair gets 2 championship matches in 1 week. Tonight she gets to fight for the Raw Women's Championship, and she's scheduled to take on Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch in the triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship over on Crown Jewel. So this week, Bianca Belair has the opportunity to become the undisputed Women's Champion. Bianca comes out and say, hey, listen, I'm going to give you all the time in the world tonight to say goodbye to your Raw Women's Championship. They get into a little scuffle. Bianca tries to get into the KOD. Charlotte gets out of that. And then we get a setup for the main event of the night. Bianca Belair versus Charlotte for the Raw Women's Championship. And it should be a grand main event. Right? The first match of the night is Xavier Woods versus Jinder Mahal. Whoever wins this goes off to Crown Jewel, and they will face Finn Balor in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. This match was pretty good. We usually don't get that many crazy matches out of Jinder, but we had a really good back and forth between Xavier Woods and Jinder Mahal. The end of the match comes around when Jinder tries to go for a suplex off the top rope. Xavier pushes Jinder off. Xavier does that smooth elbow drop from across the ring. 1, 2, 3, and the boy X makes it to the finals. Ah man, I called it. I'm so happy he made it to the final. It would have been nice throughout the tournament to see him versus Kofi. Like, if this match was him versus Kofi, it would have been a crazy story as far as, like, the confliction that the both of them would have had. But I still think that it's cool that Xavier Woods is moving on. At the end of the match, Xavier Woods looks at the crowd. Kofi drapes the cape over Xavier Woods. He starts doing this whole James Brown impression, does a little ode to James Brown, and I love how that went down. I got a good crack out of that. I got a good pop out of that. After that, we get a backstage segment from newcomer Austin Theory. He's trying to conduct an interview, but then he gets interrupted by I guess they call it the 24/7 championship mob. I don't know. Reginald is still the 24/7 champion. If you guys aren't familiar with the 24/7 championship, it's like the modern day version of the hardcore championship, but way less hardcore. People were chasing Reggie through Austin Theory's little interview segment, and he gets real pissed off at it. He stops R-Truth, who's a part of the mob. R-Truth is like, hey, if you got a problem with it, hey, if you want to take it to the ring, we can take it to the ring. And he said, under one condition, you're gonna have to ask your mom and see if you can stay up for the rest of the night. Tried to play Austin Theory, and then this leads into them having a match, or so we thought. R-Truth comes out and say, hey, my bad, I did say you wanted to go settle in the ring, but I didn't mean settle in the ring with me. So then R-Truth comes out and brings out the homie Jeff Hardy. Last week Jeff Hardy and Austin Theory had their little scuffle, and this is Jeff Hardy's opportunity for revenge. The match was pretty short. Jeff Hardy tries to go for the Swanton Bomb. Austin Theory cuts him off before he gets a chance to jump off the top rope. Austin Theory does his finisher, 1, 2, 3. Austin Theory beats Jeff Hardy again. So I think it's weird that R-Truth brought out Jeff Hardy just to take a L. But hey man, this is Jeff Hardy's last night on Raw since he's being drafted over to SmackDown. After the match was done, Austin Theory attempted to take another selfie with Jeff, but Jeff comes to, knocks out Austin Theory with the twist of fate, takes a little selfie of his own, and then that's how we end this off. I wonder why they had them get into a rivalry when Jeff Hardy was just gonna get drafted over to SmackDown. Next, we get a tag team match with the WWE champion Big E and Drew McIntyre taking on a team of Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, better known as the Dirty Dogs. Last week they had a will they, won't they coexist thing going on between Big E and Drew, but this week They patched up the loose ends that they had last week. They kind of got into a little post-match scuffle when they couldn't get the job done. But this time, they coexisted, had a smooth match. The match ended when Big E hit the big ending on one of the Dirty Dogs. Who cares? They're jobbers now. 1, 2, 3. Big E, when he does the pin, looks dead at Drew's eyes. And then after the match, they get a little verbal back and forth. You know, who's going to be the better man? You know, we're going to see who's going to come on top, who's going to fight who. They're going to do the whole face versus face dynamic going into this championship match. So, Crown Jewel, Big E, Drew McIntyre, WWE Championship. And it's going down, and it should be one hell of a match. The next match of the night, we have Monsoor versus Shelton Benjamin of the Hurt Business. Monsoor, the previous week, had a little tag team breakup with his boy Mustafa Ali. So there's a match set up between them at Crown Jewel. Now we're getting Mustafa Ali versus Monsoor. And if the past has served us anything, if you're familiar with the Crown Jewel event, if you're familiar with Monsoor and how he gets down whenever they're in Saudi Arabia, that boy is Superman. He is not losing this match. I have my money on Monsoor going into this match. But anyway, tonight we have him going against Shelton Benjamin one-on-one. Since this is the go-home episode of Raw, a lot of these matches are just getting breezed through. So after Monsoor hit his, little neck break, it's like the Buff Blockbuster, like he jumps over the head, does a little neck breaker. But 1, 2, 3, Monsoor wins the match. Ali comes out, they get a little back and forth. Monsoor shows his more aggressive side on the mic, and you know what, I'm actually looking forward to this match. I feel like they're gonna have a nice solid back and forth. Ali could go hard in the ring, Monsoor could go hard in the ring. I think their styles contrast well, and I know that Saudi's gonna make noise for them, so it should be an awesome match. Next, we get a backstage segment between Bobby Lashley and Goldberg, building up their no-holds-barred match over at Crown Jewel. Goldberg hammers home the fact that he wants to kill Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley's like, hey, bro, chill. I could definitely call the cops on you, but that's not how I do business. I do Hurt Business. So if you want to come through Crown Jewel, let's have this fight, man. Let's get this out the way. And since there's no holds barred, I could definitely see Goldberg's son getting involved, especially since what happened over at SummerSlam a couple months ago. But it should be a nice knockout brawl, as long as the match doesn't go past like 10 minutes, because we all know that even though Goldberg is still as ill as he is, he has a ceiling. So we'll see how this match goes down. My personal pick, you're just gonna have to wait till the predictions before you see who I feel like is gonna win this one. Next, we have a tag team match between the Raw Tag Team Champions, Team RK Bro, which is Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. They have a non-title match against the Street Profits, who got drafted over to Raw from SmackDown, but they just here to kick it to level out the playing field, the tag team division over on Raw. So they have a little match with the champs themselves. They have a good back and forth, and it lasts up until the point where RK Bro's opponents for Crown Jewel, which is the team of AJ Styles and Omos, they get involved with the match. They cause a distraction. They run in and start beating everybody up, and then it causes a disqualification. It causes a non-finish. Look, like I said, this show is the go-home show, is the breeze show, it's the get everything out the way show. So I knew it was going to be filled with shenanigans, but it was an okay match. But it's just setting up the tag team title match that's going to happen at Crown Jewel. After that, we get another Queen's Crown tournament bracket match. This match will determine who will fight Zelina Vega in the finals of the Queen's Crown tournament over at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. This match is between Shayna Baszler and Doudrop. And remember back at the past reviews when I said, looking at the bracket, that it looked kind of obvious that Shayna Baszler would be the one to take it all the way? Boy, was I all the way wrong. This match was short. Shayna put on the Karakuda clutch, a little sleeper hole, little $1 million dream joint. You thinking, alright, Doudrop's probably gonna faint, and then Shayna's gonna make it to the finals. But no. Doudrop pushed back, used her power, her weight, put that on Shayna, and then it led to a 1, 2, 3. That spot I never understood. It's definitely happened in the past whenever somebody would have like a sleep hold on somebody, and if somebody, you know, a little bit bigger, put their pressure on them, and then it causes them to pin. I don't know why the person who has the headlock just let go, let it go and kick out. But whatever. They have been breezing through this whole Queen's Crown tournament. They could have made something nice out of it, similar to how they did the Cruiserweight Classic or the Mae Young Classic. You know, they could have had a nice tournament out of this, but nope. No. The finals will be between Zelina Vega and Doudrop. And for that match, man, I wonder who's going to be the Queen's Crown. Then we get Finn Balor versus Mace. Mace, the former Dio Madden. I like the name Dio Madden better. They should repackage him back to Dio Madden. Anyway, Mace comes out, does the job. 1, 2, 3, Finn Balor swipes him out. Coup de grace, done. That match was probably the quickest match of the night, or felt like the quickest match of the night. They tease Finn Balor and X going for the crown at King of the Ring. They have a little back and forth, little argument at the end with Kofi separating them, teasing the match. I'm very excited. Ooh, I'm too excited for Balor versus Woods. It's probably going to be one of my favorite matches of Crown Jewel for sure. And now we have reached the main event of the evening. And you know what? For Monday Night Raw to be a 3-hour show, I felt like a lot of the segments were breezed through. This had to be the tightest 3 hours that I've ever seen pro wrestling produce. Get to the main event of the night. We teased it earlier in the night. We get Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Raw Women's Championship. And yo, this match was quality. They went hard. I'm not even going to spoil the match. If you have the time, look it up on YouTube for yourself. This match was WrestleMania quality. It might be a bold claim to say, but they went crazy. And you know what? At one point, I felt like Bianca was going to win the Raw Women's Championship since she's being drafted to Raw anyway. And since Charlotte's going to SmackDown, it'll make sense for Bianca to win the belt, so the Raw Women's Championship wouldn't go with Charlotte to SmackDown. It makes sense, right? But nah, man. The match was so crazy, but it came to a horrible disqualification finish. And I understand what WWE was doing. They wanted to draw the viewers in for that last hour. If people come in to watch that championship match, they just wanted to get it for the demo. They just wanted to get it for the numbers. But a disqualification finish, man, yo, what a disappointment. But I said it before. Has WWE ever let you down at letting you down? Yeah, man, that's the end of Monday Night Raw. And it is the go-home show for our Crown Jewel pay-per-view that's going down on Thursday, Saudi Arabia. It will air at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I might not catch it live. I might have to wait till later on. I'm definitely for sure going to have to wait till later on to catch it. And we're going to see how this pay-per-view turns out. So that concludes this edition of Monday Night Raw. It was pretty smooth. So here's my quick predictions for the Crown Jewel pay-per-view that we are going to have on Thursday. We get a kickoff match between the Usos and the Hurt Business, which on paper, think about it, if we would get the trios match of the entire Bloodline versus the entire Hurt Business, that would be cool. But for this kickoff tag team match, I'm definitely taking the Usos. They are on fire right now, and they're definitely going to take out Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. And the Usos, they are the kickoff kings if you ever seen them in previous kickoff matches throughout their career. So for the Raw Tag Team Championship match, we have Team RK Bro, the defending tag team champions, going up against the team of AJ Styles and Omos. I feel like RK Bro is going to win this one and retain their tag team championships. I feel like it should be the point where we should separate Omos for Styles. You know, even though Omos is still a little green, I think it's time for him to get his single shine on. For Monsoor versus Mustafa Ali, I feel like Monsoor is definitely going to take this match. It's something about being at Crown Jewel that's like he absorbs the atmosphere, and Mansoor turns into Superman out there. You know what I mean? So I feel like Mansoor is going to take Ali to the limit. They're going to have a very, very nice match. I feel like they're going to give him a lot of time, and they're going to, you know, turn the show upside down. They might steal the show. I feel like that match is going to be a show stealer. For the finals of the Queen's Crown tournament, we have Zelina Vega versus Doudrop. You know what? I feel like either or would be all right, but I feel like for the gimmick, they might use it for Doudrop as a push, but I feel like that would just fit Zelina so well for the heel queen gimmick, and she already did the Princess Diana wave for the heat. So I don't know. I feel like Zelina's going to take it. My prediction is that it's going to go to Zelina Vega. I'm going to lock in that prediction. I feel like it's going to be Zelina. Zelina's going to take it, and Zelina will be the queen of the ring. For the King of the Ring finals, you know what? I'll be fine with either outcome. I'm just curious to see if Finn Balor is going to be regular Finn or if he's going to go into the demon mode. But I want him to go to the demon mode just so if X wins that match, if X is able to defeat the demon form of Finn Balor, I think he'd only be the second person to pin Finn while he's under that gimmick. I think I could be off, but man, my pick for this is Xavier Woods. I feel like Xavier needs it. Kofi had his, crowning moment when he became the WWE champion. Big E had his crowning moment when he became the WWE champion. So for X to carry the King gimmick and to have fun with that, because X is a fun guy. So I feel like we'll have him being king, especially if he carries on with the James Brown thing with the cape. Oh man, I really want X to win this. It would be a real good look. My pick for this match is Xavier Woods. So then we have two blood feud matches. We have Edge versus Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell. And for the past couple of months, they've been going back and forth. Seth pulled up to Edge's crib. They just been having the wildest few months. I feel like with this, Seth is going to get his win back. They have something to write Edge off again for a few months. And then they could probably bring him back for like around, Royal Rumble time. But who knows? I feel like that they're going to eventually put the Universal Championship on Edge. But they still want to, use up Roman. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But for this match, I feel like Seth is going to get his win back. Hell in a Cell. I feel like Seth is going to get his win back. For Goldberg versus Lashley, I feel like Goldberg's going to win this one. I feel like they put this match under no holds barred rules just to hide Goldberg's limitations. You know that Goldberg can't really rock for long in the ring. So if they involve, his son, some weapons, he's probably going to mess around and take this dub. So my pick for this is Goldberg. Then we have our 3 World Championship matches of the night. We have the Triple Threat SmackDown Women's Championship match between Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, and the defending champion, Becky Lynch. Now, since Becky got drafted over to Raw and Bianca Belair got drafted over to Raw, it would make sense for Sasha to win this match. But after we saw the finish of Charlotte and Bianca on this installment of Raw, and even though Charlotte is a Raw Women's Champion and she's taking that belt with her to SmackDown, maybe Becky's going to keep the SmackDown belt and then she takes that to Raw. And I hope they don't do the same thing they did with the New Day and the Street Profits last year when they had the draft and the tag team champions just traded the belt. I'll take Sasha to win this just because it'll make sense since she's the only one in the match that's actually on the SmackDown roster. But they're going to have a good match. It should be a good triple threat. The triple threat match is one of my favorite match stipulations. It always brings the best out of the talent involved. That rock, paper, scissors dynamic throughout the match. It should be entertaining. So for that one, I'm going to lock in Sasha Banks for my choice. Next, we have the WWE Championship match. WWE Champion Big E defending against Drew McIntyre. It should be an awesome back and forth. We got the babyface versus babyface dynamic. It's going to be, a clash of the Titans. But I feel like Big E is going to hold on to the belt mainly because he's on Raw. Drew got drafted over to SmackDown. The main belt on SmackDown is the Universal Championship. They already teased that Drew and Roman is going to get into that rivalry. So my pick for this is Big E. This is another great high-profile match for Big E. This will help him look really good as WWE champion. Even though he got a solid win over Lashley, this would help him look a lot stronger as WWE champion. And he deserves this win. So my pick is Big A. Final match of the night, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Universal Championship. They have been teasing dissension with Paul Heyman and Roman. They have been teasing that Paul can't be trusted. They have been teasing that Brock and Paul are still in cahoots with each other. After all these years of being cool, that nothing ain't stopped. They still got a little locked down, something behind the scenes. This match should be a good one. My pick is Brock Lesnar.